to the headphones.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. Do you hear me fine?
Yeah, absolutely clear.
So nice to meet you. Very sorry for the delay, for being late.
No,
Another meeting went a bit long.
yeah, I totally understand. Sometimes meeting goes over the time, so that's a normal thing.
Okay. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, things are going fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the India. In India, it's lockdown, so like the staying at home. And,
Okay.
yeah, so hope you are safe too, and things are better on your side.
Yeah, I think are getting better, better and better. I'm also from home. I've been working from home for the past, I think 9 months. There's been a very little period of time where we came back to the office. I think it was maybe September last year, but it lasted, I think, like 3 weeks at most, 4 weeks, and then we switched to remote again. So let's see.
Yeah, here also like offices are closed. At least like most of the tech offices are closed. So like our Uber office also closed for almost like 1 year, 2-3 months since the
Yeah,
pandemic starts in India last year.
yeah, I see. So I'm happy. I'm happy to meet each other in call. And if you have, I mean, any questions, want to talk about any topic, really feel
Yeah,
free.
so I have like just a few questions. I was just like going through. So actually like I was like I think I was reading about the new like I think newsletters which you are publishing on the refactoring.fm, and I have went through I think 2-3 of them, one on one and the communication architecture. So which I feel they are really important, like lots of like really good insight actually. So lots of things to learn. So that's why I just like just saw you on LinkedIn, then like went through it. So I thought it's good to have like a small conversation. Like you also have
Yeah,
really great experience, so definitely always that like when you have the like a larger experience, there's always things to share. And and also we can in the end we can talk about the refactoring.fm. So I mean, yeah, so I think you have spent 8 years as the co-founder and CTO of the startup Vendrio. So
yeah.
if pronunciation it might be wrong. So like how's the experience? I think just after the I think that was your I think first or second job. So how was the experience of founding a startup and like scaling it to millions, and also the CTO at the same time?
Well, I mean, it's been an incredible experience. Definitely one of the things I'm the most proud in my life, and I still feel like I'm a founder. I mean, I see myself as a founder, even though I'm not a founder anymore. And I also started when I was very young because that was actually my first job. I got my master's and I actually started my PhD and then I dropped out my PhD because it wasn't sustainable together with the
Yeah.
startup. And then I mean, we not only it was the first job for all us founders, but we also knew basically nothing about the travel space, which was the space which our startup was in, which is a very hard space. And I think that knowing nothing about the space actually was an advantage in the end, because I think if we knew things in advance, I don't know if we would have started, right? I think sometimes you just need that level of naivety also to make you start things.
Okay.
So it was a great experience. We started like 3 founders and scaled to about 20 people team, and mostly keeping the domestic market in Italy. So all our customers, or most of our customers, were from Italy, and we scaled up to 20 million customers in there. We also then sold the majority of the company to our main shareholder, which was an industrial player. then things, I mean, didn't end very well because we had like a growth plan that had to last a number of years that would have brought one day to maybe 50 or 100 people company. But then the COVID struck, right? So both Wanderio and the parent company were in the travel space, and the COVID meant that literally from one day to the other, revenues went to zero, literally. I mean,
yes, absolutely. I think, yeah, definitely. Everything in lockdown, so like survival is the like toughest part.
Yeah, it's been really incredible to see. I mean, like we went from managing hundreds and hundreds of bookings per day to managing like 3 bookings per day, maybe. And that created a lot of problems, of course, to my company, but also to the parent company, and those growth plans were canceled. So things ended there, but I'm grateful of the experience. I'm happy like this, because you might feel like we have had like an unlucky turn of events, but I also remember over the years how many things we were lucky with, you know. So when you strike the balance, I think things went fine. So I'm grateful for this. And now I'm in a bigger company, which is called translated.com, and it provides translation services combining both the work of professional translators, so we have people, and artificial intelligence. So trying to take the best of both worlds. And it's a bigger company. It's maybe 100, 150 employees, larger tech team, and completely different experience, learning a lot. And then, of course, there's the newsletter. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I think because you have joined as a head of engineering there, I guess. So yeah, I think from it's become larger perspective. I think just not being an engineer or manager. I think head of engineering. I think you have to look from like all the angles of a company, basically.
Yeah, and it's been also the first time that I worked in a company where you have many stakeholders. I mean, I'm not a founder anymore, where basically I decide to do something, I do it. I don't have to talk with like large number of people. Right now, instead, there are for each initiative several stakeholders. I have to build a case for whatever I do, which makes sense, of course. And it's also an older company which has been founded like 20 years ago. So technologically, it's very different. There are parts which are very new, parts which are very old, parts which are like in the middle. So you have to manage things in a different way. So completely different environment, and happy to see something different, and I'm still learning.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, do you also like? What's your suggestion? Like, let's say if you have to give a suggestion to like who is recently starting in their career or let's say initially like 2-3 years of their career phase. So, like a general, like let's say if they work in a small startup versus a big company. So, what's your advice for them from your experience? Any suggestion you would like to say?
I mean, it's hard to give an advice which is specific, I think, to some technical thing or some path or the journey, because tech right now is so broad. I mean, you can go in so many directions that on that side, it really depends on what are your interests, whether you want to go deeper into, let's say, front-end development, back-end development, AI, cryptocurrencies, I mean, whatever. There are so many things. There is more general advice, of course, which I think that you should always put yourself in a condition where you are like slightly uncomfortable, with things that you have to do.
Right.
Never feel like you have everything under control, because that means you are learning.
Yes.
There is a famous quote by a former Formula One driver that said that if you feel you have everything under control, you're not going fast enough. I mean, it's one of the first quotes that I learned when I started my startup. When I heard about it the first time, I didn't think it was necessarily true, but now I get it. I mean, backwards. And so, I mean, while I was a founder, I've always felt like that. I always felt it was the first time I was doing something. I wasn't prepared for that. And it was true. I mean, I wasn't prepared for many things, but that was not a bad thing. I mean, it was a learning path. So this does not depend on being in a startup, being in a larger company, mid-level company. You can find your own growth, I think, wherever you are. Just make sure that you feel you're growing. And the best way of knowing that you're growing is that you're a bit uncomfortable.
Yes, is right. I think I also remember a quote, like I don't remember the name who said it, but it's something like that. If you are like feeling comfortable in like at your place, that means you are not at the right place. So if until unless you're feeling uncomfortable, that means you are doing right thing in your career, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, then I don't want to say that you have to struggle a lot, the hustle culture. You know, there is also a lot of, I mean, toxic things that people may think because of what we're saying. No, that you have to challenge yourself, stress yourself all the time. Not like this. I mean, it's not black or white. You don't have to be totally comfortable, but you don't either burn yourself out.
Yes,
Because that's very important, and that's something that also I learned along the way, because it's very easy to burn you out, but it's very easy to burn you out without you acknowledging it, without you understanding that this is happening, because this is not something that happens from one day to the other. It's like a slow drift where your energy, you don't recognize that day after day you have lower energy.
yes, yes.
So manage yourself and your energy it's very important. Keep the enthusiasm. In the end, it's better to go a little bit slower, but keeping that pace, that trying to chew too much, more than you bite, more than you can chew, and then burn you out in like 3 months.
Okay, no, definitely. I think it's also depends on the like a person to person, as you said, like, but it's always about I think learning, keep learning always, and like can like things like people can adjust according to like how much comfortable they are feeling or how much they want to push themselves. Also, not feeling burnout, and that's I think very important to see, because if you feel burnout, then it's generally not good. I mean, like mentally, your
Yeah.
mental health will also get affected, and overall, like they are like it's generally like as a human being, we are feeling slightly not in the right place. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I think let's talk about the refactoring. I'm really excited to know about it. Like, I mean, so what's your general like aim for it? Who is the target audience for the like refactoring.fm? And so because I think you have published a lots of articles on it, and so yeah, so like how would you share about that?
So, I mean, I started writing the newsletter. I think it was during lockdown. The first lockdown in Italy, it was like March, April the last year. And because suddenly I had like a lot of more free time, I'm honest, because I didn't have to commute to the office. There was some struggle with my startup, so it wasn't clear what was our future. It was like this very strange times where I was stuck at home, and also my startup wasn't going very well, and I wanted to write about how I was feeling. So I also started journaling, and so I started writing down a lot more things that I did in the past. And I was also already reading a lot of content via newsletters. So I was like a user of newsletters, a big proponent of them. And so I thought maybe I can do something good, both for myself, for growing professionally, and for other people as well, by taking these notes that I always write and maybe turning them into some posts, some articles. And the idea was to create something that would also force me to grow, to read and write about things that I read, basically, and building an audience in the process, you know. And I didn't start with an idea of very specific topics to talk about. Of course, there was this basic understanding that I would have written about things that I learned over my journey as a founder, on the engineering side, product side, management side, I mean, all over the place. So I started, I launched the newsletter publicly in the end of September. I mean, my first subscribers were literally my mother and my brother, I think. Even if my mom doesn't know anything about engineering. And then it grew very fast, and it turned, and by understanding, by listening to feedback by people, I got it that the space was more about maybe engineering leadership, engineering management, product and engineering leadership. So I kind of market that way, and trying to join communities and spaces where this kind of people hang out. And I just kept doing this. Also, I started as a bi-weekly. I pushed myself to write weekly then. And it was really one of the best decisions that I've made so far. Incredible outcome for myself, for my life, because on one side, I mean, I feel I've grown professionally in a way that I never could without, because I'm really compelled to read a lot of articles, really an awful lot, and think about them, compare them with my experience and write them down. And this is a very growing experience. And I'm forced to do this because of this public commitment. And I've met a lot of people, really a lot of people write me. I have this kind of calls, this kind of chats. So I'm very happy to expand, and I wouldn't call this audience, because this seems like this kind of, cold marketing thing. It's like my friends, my people that I know professionally. And that's why I add people on LinkedIn for my subscribers. I mean, it's not, I don't do it with a bot. I just add people manually, and then I write to them. So it's simple like that.
No, definitely. I mean, like when I actually first saw it and actually was reading it, so that's something that's like also one thing for sure. I think that's something very different, which generally it's not generally when you like try to see online, not generally available. And it's actually the part, I think, like I think the articles that I read is generally not the part of like it's not technical, but yeah, it's generally part of our like normal work, right? I mean, how to be effective in like asynchronous communication, right? For example, now I think especially in this pandemic, right? I mean, we have to work from home, and like I have to interact with many times, like US people, like one of like one of the like team manager who I'm work with is from Ireland, so it's like in totally different time zone. Someone is from US time zone. So I think how to do asynchronous communication properly, how to schedule. For example, here we also do like one-on-one meetings. It's just not the manager, like even like as engineers we do it with junior people or like in fellow engineers. So I think it's been like a great learning and something that we generally not found on the internet. So definitely lots of things to learn from them.
Thank you. And I mean, I have subscribers that are all over the map when it comes to both countries and also roles. There are engineering managers, there are just developers who are interested because they will be managers one day, maybe, or because these topics affect them anyway. But there are also people that are like marketers anyway, because I realize that sometimes I write articles which are more general, and not really technical, like exactly you mentioned one-on-ones or asynchronous communication. These are, I think, points that stand for any kind of role, any kind of career, and
Yes.
I try to write things that are relevant today. And sometimes they are technical, sometimes they are not. But
yeah, I think you also got, I think 4,000 subscriptions, right?
yeah, right now it's more than 5,000. It's grown.
Yeah, that's why also I think like if the content is really good, it's then actually like it automatically will keep getting the subscriptions, and that's I think we can see, right? I mean, like I think just after you launch it in a very small span of time, I think we have like you have really like a good number of already subscriber for that.
Yeah.
So that's that's a really great thing, and I mean, yeah, I'm like definitely looking forward for the more articles to from your side.
Thank you. Thank you. I will try to keep the bar high and keep pumping out articles every week. So tomorrow there is another one. So, yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
happy that you like them.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Luca.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you so much, Luca. It's been like great talking to you. It's been really great. I think fun conversation. And yeah, let's if someday like we might be in the same country or the same town, we'll definitely like to catch up with you.
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out, and let's stay in touch for anything.
Yeah,
Really,
sure.
feel free to write for any feedback, and keep me posted about anything.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Luca.
Have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you.
You too.